Hey, welcome back. I'm really glad you pressed play today. You know, there's something that almost every English learner struggles with at some point, but most people don't talk about it much. It's not grammar. It's not vocabulary. It's something more silent, more internal. It's the voice inside your head. You're trying to speak English, but your thoughts are still in your native language. You keep translating, sentence by sentence, word by word, and it's exhausting, right? It slows you down. It makes you hesitate. It feels like your brain is doing two jobs at once, and both feel heavy. But here's something I want you to know. That habit of translating? It's not your fault. It's just how your brain has been working. It's trying to help. It's trying to protect you from making mistakes. But what if we could train your brain to trust English directly? Not by force, not by pressure, but through soft repetition, through gentle exposure, through little phrases you start using inside your own mind. That's what this episode is all about. Not learning phrases like in a textbook, but building new mental habits. Quiet ones that sit in your thoughts and guide your sentences, even when you're not trying. Because the moment you start thinking in English, even in small pieces, everything changes. Your speaking becomes faster. Your understanding becomes deeper. You stop freezing. You stop overthinking every word. And guess what? You don't need a full sentence to begin. You just need a seed. A small, simple phrase. One your brain can reach for without fear. So today, I'll gently walk you through 30 of these phrases. Not all at once. We'll go slowly. Just a few at a time. And in each one, I'll help you imagine how and when you might use it, not to impress someone, but just to be more at ease with yourself. You'll hear it. You'll feel it. You'll speak it softly. And over time, it becomes yours. Let's begin. Imagine you wake up in the morning. You're still in bed, eyes half open, maybe a little tired. Instead of thinking, what do I have to do today? In your native language, what if you let this phrase show up? All right, let's get started. Simple, gentle, no pressure, just movement. You say it softly to yourself, maybe in your mind, maybe under your breath. No grammar needed. No hard vocabulary. Just one sentence that sounds like something a native speaker would think. And that's the magic here. These aren't lines. They're thoughts. You stretch, sit up, make your way to the bathroom. You look at yourself in the mirror. You're not judging. You're just noticing. And the next phrase comes in, okay, not bad today. This little thought is more than just words. It's how you begin to replace your old mental habits, the ones that maybe judge, or compare, or criticize. And now you're brushing your teeth, still half asleep. Maybe your mind starts to wander to the day ahead. Work, school, errands. And you think, let's see how today goes. No drama, no anxiety, just softness. Curiosity, openness. This phrase helps you release control and stay present. You don't need to know everything. You just show up. You head to the kitchen, make some tea or coffee. You check your phone. A message from someone. Something unexpected. You pause, and this phrase appears, that's interesting. Now, this might sound like nothing. But this phrase is powerful. It helps you respond, not react. It helps you slow down instead of judge. And when you start using it, even just mentally, you become more fluent in both language and calm thinking. You reply, send a few messages, put your phone down. And now the mind does what it always does. It starts remembering something you said yesterday. Something maybe you didn't say right. And the old habit appears, overthinking, regret, self-blame. But you're training a new habit now. So instead, you gently think, it's okay. I'm learning. You don't need to fix the past. You just move forward. This one phrase, that's all it takes to stop that spiral before it starts. Later, you're walking outside. Maybe you see someone doing something a little funny. Instead of describing it in your first language, you let your brain try this. That made me smile. That's it. A simple thought in English. A soft one. You're not translating. You're just feeling it, in the language you're learning to live in. You reach your bus stop. There's a small delay. The announcement says 10 more minutes. No big deal. You check the time, and you tell yourself, no rush. I've got time. See how peaceful that feels. Thinking in English isn't about big ideas. It's about the quiet ones. The daily ones. The thoughts you use when no one is listening. Later that day, someone says something you don't quite understand. It happens to all of us. But now, instead of panicking, you let yourself think, that's okay. I'll figure it out. You don't need to understand everything. You just need to stay with it. This is how fluency actually grows. Not by memorizing 100 words at once, but by living inside just one phrase, softly, calmly, often. And what happens when you make a small mistake while speaking? Maybe you forget a word. Maybe you pronounce something wrong. Before your brain says, that was stupid, you gently think, oops, that came out funny. You smile at yourself. No shame. Just awareness. And you move on. Thinking in English isn't about forcing your thoughts into perfect sentences. It's about building mini thoughts that support you, comfort you, and help you move forward. Let's take a moment now to try a few of these softly. Together. I'll say the phrase. You repeat after me. Not like a robot, just like a gentle whisper in your own mind. All right. Let's get started. Okay. Not bad today. Let's see how today goes. Huh. That's interesting. It's okay. I'm learning. That made me smile. No rush. I've got time. That's okay. I'll figure it out. Oops. That came out funny. Each of these is a tool. Not for speaking to others, but for speaking to yourself. And that's where fluency really begins, not in conversations, but in quiet, in your own private thoughts. You don't need to force English to take over your mind. You just need to let it walk beside you a little more each day. You're already doing it. In the next part, we'll explore more of these gentle internal phrases, ones you can use when you're busy, distracted, nervous, or tired. Phrases that won't overwhelm you. Phrases that support your thinking without effort. You're not memorizing English. You're becoming someone who lives inside it, softly, naturally, and with confidence. I'll meet you there. You've already started something powerful. You're not just learning how to speak English. You're learning how to think in it, softly, quietly, and without pressure. The phrases we explored earlier were all about morning moments. Waking up, noticing your thoughts, moving through small parts of your day with gentleness. Now, let's continue. This time, let's imagine you're going through a busy, ordinary afternoon. Nothing special. Just your usual day. And yet, your thoughts keep flowing. So what language are they in? That's the beauty of this practice. You don't have to be talking to someone. You don't even have to be speaking out loud. You just start noticing what you're thinking and gently offering English as a new default. Let's say you're trying to focus on something. Maybe work. Maybe homework. And your brain keeps jumping around. Distractions. Notifications. Worry. You catch yourself, and you whisper, okay. Back to it. Just 3 words. Not dramatic. Not perfect. But suddenly, you've taken control. not of everything, but of the next moment. That's real fluency. Now imagine you're walking into a room. There are people. You feel unsure. A little nervous maybe. You start to second-guess yourself. But then, you take a slow breath, and you tell yourself, let's just be real. No pressure to perform. No need to be perfect. Just show up. Just be honest. This one phrase can calm your nerves like nothing else. Later in the day, you're working on something that's kind of boring, repetitive. You want to stop. But you smile a little and think, almost there. That's it. You don't need motivation speeches. Just these 3 words. They remind you that you're moving. You're progressing. Even if it's slow. You finish the task. You close the laptop. You take a stretch. And here's another phrase that fits that feeling. That's done. What's next? It's light. It's forward moving. It gives your brain permission to switch gears without anxiety. Now maybe you're about to try something new. Something you haven't done before. Like speaking English in front of someone. Or sending a voice message. Or asking a question. Your heart beats faster. Doubt shows up. And you pause. Then tell yourself, let's try. Just try. Not, let's do it perfectly. Not, I must succeed. Just try. This one thought can change how your mind responds to challenge. You try. Maybe it goes okay. Maybe it's awkward. Maybe you forget a word. And after it's over, instead of replaying it again and again in your head, you give yourself this. Not perfect, but I did it. That's growth. That's progress. That's fluency of the heart, not just the tongue. And what about those moments when your mind just doesn't want to do anything? You feel tired. Not sad exactly. Not angry. Just low. Blank. In those moments, you don't need to push yourself. You just offer this little phrase. Let's take it slow. Not get over it. Not hurry up. Just slow. You're allowed to feel quiet. You're allowed to move gently. You're walking somewhere. Your thoughts drift. You look at the sky, or a tree, or a stranger smiling at their phone. And you think, that's nice. It doesn't need to be more. You're practicing awareness. You're thinking in English without even trying hard. A moment later, your thoughts drift again. This time towards something uncertain. Something in the future. You feel a little anxious. And then you say, we'll see. It's light. But it helps. It stops the mental spiral. It holds space for the unknown without needing answers. You get a message. Plans changed. Something isn't going the way you hoped. You pause. Feel the disappointment. And then you think, well, that happens. It's not cold. It's not fake positivity. It's just acceptance. Spoken in your own mind. In English. No stress. No shame. You get through the day. You didn't do everything. You forgot a few things. And as you're brushing your teeth at night, instead of saying, I should have done more, you whisper, it was enough. And it was. You don't need English to be full of fancy words. You need it to be kind. The way you speak to others is important, but the way you speak to yourself? That's the foundation of everything. Let's try repeating a few of these together softly. Okay. Back to it. Let's just be real. Almost there. That's done. What's next? Let's try. Just try. Not perfect, but I did it. Let's take it slow. That's nice. We'll see. Well, that happens. It was enough. Every one of these is a step toward thinking in English. Not big steps. Quiet ones. The kind you take when no one's watching. And soon, those quiet steps become natural. Your mind doesn't ask for translation. It just moves. If this is your first time doing something like this, be proud. This is deep learning. It's slow, but strong. It's soft, but powerful. In the next part, we'll explore the final group of phrases, ones that help you build calm, focus, and confidence when speaking English with other people. Because thinking in English doesn't stop inside your mind. It also shapes how you speak, how you connect, how you feel around others. You're getting closer to that. And you're doing it in the most human, beautiful way. I'll meet you there. The fact that you've made it this far means something. It means you're not just learning English for tests or work. You're trying to live in it, to feel it, to think in it. And that's something not many people even try to do. So let's keep going. We've been through morning moments, quiet afternoon thoughts, little check-ins with yourself. But now, let's shift to something a little more real world. Those moments when you're around people. Talking, listening, trying to stay present, trying to respond in English without freezing up. You've probably had moments like that, when you understand what someone is saying, but your mind feels slow. Or blank. And all you want is one good phrase to help you respond. To keep the conversation going without feeling robotic or awkward. That's exactly what we'll focus on now. These next phrases are simple. They're not clever. They're not flashy. But they help you stay connected to the person you're talking to and to yourself. Let's imagine you're in a casual conversation. A friend, a classmate, maybe a coworker. They tell you something personal, or maybe just something that matters to them. And you want to show you're listening, that you care. You don't need a long reply. You just say, "That makes sense." It's soft. It tells the other person, "I hear you. I get it." You don't have to explain more if you don't want to. It also gives you time. Time to think of your next thought without rushing. Another phrase that works in almost every situation, especially when someone shares a little win or something they're excited about, is, "Oh, that's great." Not too big. Not too small. You don't need to match their exact emotion. You just offer light encouragement. And then, maybe they ask for your opinion. Or they say something that surprises you. Your mind doesn't have a full sentence ready. But you say, "You know what? That's a good point." This one keeps you in the conversation. It helps you move from silence to engagement. Even if you don't fully agree, you can still say it to show you're open, to keep things kind. Now, let's say the topic is something you're not familiar with. You want to participate, but you're not sure what to say. You pause. Then say, "I haven't thought about that before." It's honest. And that honesty builds trust. You don't need to know everything. You're showing that you're present, curious, still learning. Here's another moment. Someone finishes talking. They say a lot. And you want to respond in a way that isn't just cool or okay. You smile and say, "That's interesting. Tell me more." With those 5 words, you're giving them permission to keep going. And you're giving yourself more time to listen, absorb, and respond naturally. Now picture this. Someone says something you don't fully understand. Maybe the words were fast, or the vocabulary was new. Instead of freezing up, you keep things warm and say, "Sorry, can you say that a little slower?" You don't need to feel embarrassed. Native speakers do this all the time with each other. This phrase is your bridge. It keeps you in the moment without stepping away from the flow. Then there's the situation where you are the one talking. Maybe you say something, and then immediately feel unsure. Instead of stopping completely, you gently add, "I'm not sure if that made sense." That phrase, so small, creates connection. People will understand. Most of the time, they'll help you or say, "No, I got you. It's okay to name your own uncertainty. It actually makes you more relatable. Let's pause for a second here. You're not just collecting phrases. You're collecting moments. Moments where English helps you move, not freeze. Moments where your thoughts and your speech begin to walk together. Let's imagine another moment. You're talking, and you want to explain something personal, but you're not sure how to say it right. Your English feels limited. You're choosing your words carefully. And right before you speak, you breathe in and say, "It's hard to explain," and then you try. That's bravery. That's fluency. Not perfect English, but honest English. Real thoughts, real words, in real time. Sometimes, someone says something that you don't agree with, but you don't want to argue. You just want to express your view calmly. You can start with, "I see it a little differently." That's such a beautiful phrase. It creates space without shutting anyone down. You're not saying you're wrong. You're just gently inviting your perspective. Now, what if someone compliments you? Maybe they say, "Your English is really good." And you want to reply, but not awkwardly. "Try this, thanks. I'm still working on it." It's warm, humble, and it keeps the conversation flowing. And finally, there are those moments where you just don't know what to say. You're tired, or shy, or unsure, and you don't want to force anything. So you simply say, "I don't have the words right now." That, too, is fluency. Because fluency isn't about talking all the time. It's about being real in the moment. With or without words. Let's breathe together for a moment and say a few of these softly, together. That makes sense. Oh, that's great. You know what? That's a good point. I haven't thought about that before. That's interesting. Tell me more. Sorry, can you say that a little slower? I'm not sure if that made sense. It's hard to explain, but I see it a little differently. Thanks. I'm still working on it. I don't have the words right now. Each one is a soft door. A door that opens the conversation without stress, without trying too hard. These phrases aren't just tools for speaking. They're signals to your brain. Signals that say, "It's okay." You don't need perfect grammar to have a perfect moment. Thinking in English doesn't mean translating every word in your head. It means trusting these phrases to show up when you need them, because they've become part of your mental rhythm. And you're doing that now. Gently, slowly, beautifully. In the final part of this episode, we'll gather everything we've learned and bring it into one quiet space, a place where your thoughts and your English start walking in sync. We'll practice speaking without stress, thinking without translating, living in the language, one thought at a time. And when we get there, I think something in you will feel lighter. You're almost there. You've made it to the last part. And honestly, that's something to be proud of. Because what you've been doing here, it's not just listening. It's not just repeating phrases. It's something quieter. You've been retraining how your mind talks to itself. And that's a big deal. Most English learners spend years focusing only on the outside, how to speak, how to sound fluent, how to say the right thing in front of others. But you've been working on the inside. And that changes everything. So in this final part, let's just bring it all together. No pressure to remember all 30 phrases. That's not the goal. The goal is much simpler than that. It's to let these phrases live quietly inside you, so that when life happens, and it always does, English is already there. Ready. Soft. Supportive. Let's begin with a simple thought. You've had a long day. Maybe it was stressful. Maybe it was ordinary. You sit down. You close your eyes. You feel your shoulders soften. And you think, "I did enough today." That's not just English. That's healing. And if you can think that thought in English without force, it means the language is becoming part of your nervous system, part of your peace. Now imagine you're preparing for tomorrow. You don't want to overthink. You just want to rest. So you gently tell yourself, whatever comes, I'll handle it. Short, calm, powerful. Because it's not about having a perfect plan. It's about believing that you'll respond when the time comes. And saying it in English? That's you growing. Maybe later, you're lying in bed, and a memory shows up. Something awkward you said. A mistake you made in English. Instead of replaying it, you breathe in and think, it's just one moment. That thought can save you. It helps you see the bigger picture. And when that thought arrives in English, not translation, you're no longer just speaking the language, you're thinking inside it. Now, maybe you're alone, and your thoughts are quiet. No story. No drama. Just stillness. And from that stillness, you think, I'm here. I'm learning. I'm okay. That might be the most powerful phrase of all. Because it's true. Right now, wherever you are here. You are learning. And you are okay. Let's slow down together and speak these last few thoughts out loud, softly, like inner echoes. I did enough today. Whatever comes, I'll handle it. It's just one moment. I'm here. I'm learning. I'm okay. Feel how they land. Not just as English phrases, but as self-talk. As emotional support. As the beginning of a new way to think. Now, let's walk back through this journey. Not the whole list. Not in order, just as reminders of what you now carry. When your day begins, you can think, all right, let's get started. When your thoughts race, you can return to, let's take it slow. When someone opens up to you, you can offer, that makes sense. When you're tired of trying to be perfect, you say, let's just be real. When things feel too hard, and you don't know what to say, you breathe and whisper, I don't have the words right now. But then, you keep going anyway. Because fluency isn't about speed. It's not about knowing every word. It's about staying with the language long enough for it to feel like home. And look at you. You've stayed. Through 4 full parts. Through 30 quiet phrases. Through hundreds of gentle thoughts. That's not just practice. That's transformation. You now have a set of phrases you can carry with you everywhere. To work. To class. To the grocery store. Into conversations. Into silence. Into those long walks where your thoughts drift and wander. You can now let English become the language of your pause. Your reflection. Your reaction. Your breath. You don't need to rush. You don't need to memorize. You don't even need to try hard. You just need to let these thoughts live inside you, bit by bit, day by day. And every time you choose one of these phrases instead of translating, every time you think, that's interesting, or it's okay, I'm learning, you're strengthening something deep. You're changing the way your mind reaches for words. You're moving closer to fluency, without pressure, without fear. Let's sit with that for a moment. Just breathe. Let your mind feel safe. Then repeat this soft affirmation with me. I don't need perfect sentences to be fluent. I speak gently. I think softly. I grow slowly. English is not just something I study. It's something I live in more and more each day. And that's where we'll close this episode. Not with a test. Not with a checklist. But with quiet confidence. You're doing it. You're becoming the kind of speaker who thinks in English, not just because you should, but because you've built thoughts you believe in. Phrases that feel safe. Phrases that support you. Phrases that belong to you now. So if you ever forget what to say, come back here. Let your brain rest in this rhythm. Let the words find you when you're ready. Thank you for spending this time with me. Thank you for practicing with patience and kindness. And thank you for being the kind of learner who speaks not just to impress, but to connect. You're growing. And your English is growing with you. This was Let's Practice English. I'll see you soon. Take care. And keep thinking in English, one gentle phrase at a time.